All right, the first thing we're going to need to do is look in the description below, and you'll find a link to this project's webpage. And click on that, go there, and you're going to find links to get the two libraries we need. And we need the max7219 library, and we also need the Parola library. And then I'll have a file on there you can download called, it's the max.h file. And that's the file we're going to replace in the one library so that your LED matrix will work. And also, I looked at it, that chip, and it's the max7219, not the 7290. I'm sorry about that, but I checked it out, and it's the max max7219. And the reason we got to replace this file is because these libraries are generic. They work with lots of different models, so there's different things that need to be changed. So if you're using any one of the Max 7219 chipped matrices, you're going to be able to use these libraries, and this will make it work just by replacing this file. So this is how we do it. So you have to get the file. Open up your file manager. Excuse me. Then go to Documents. Then go to Arduino. Oh, make sure you install these. You don't go into the actual files, the zip files. You want to install the libraries first. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video and you're doing Arduino, you know how to install a library. You do that in the Arduino IDE. You go under Manage Libraries, Add Zip File. Make sure you add both the libraries first. Don't go into the zip files or unzip them and try to do this because it won't work. Install them first. So all right, so we're in the file manager. We're in Documents, then you click on your Arduino. And I've got a whole bunch of files in here, but we got to go down, and you want to click on your Libraries file. And then we want the MD Max 72XX master. Click on that. Then we want to go to the SRC, this one right here. Click on that. And then you want the, let's see, it's this one right here, the MD Max 72XX.h file. And it's this one here, not the library H file. You want this one right here. When it says MD Max 72XX. And just take that file that you got off the web page and copy and paste it in here and replace this file. You can copy paste it, or you can just delete it and then copy and paste it in. However you want to do it, that's up to you. But you have to change this file or it's not going to work. Now, if you're interested in what's been changed, there's only two parameters. It's just two numbers that need to be changed. One was a 0 to a 1, and the other I think was a 1 to a 0 or a 1 to a 2, something like that. It's just two little things you got to change in there because, like I said, these libraries were made to work with lots of different LED matrices. You can also use them with the 7-segment displays that have the Max 7219 chip. Now you'll have to use a different configuration if you're going to also try to use the 7-segment displays. That's a little different. We're not going to cover that in this video, so that's all you got to do is replace this. But if you're interested, just look in again, description below, go to this project's web page, and I'll have a link to a video. There was one I ran across on YouTube here a little while ago, and the guy actually went through and did a pretty good job explaining how to change it. I'm just making it easy for you so you can just copy and replace this file. Otherwise, if you want to do it yourself, check that video out. All right, now let's get into the sketch. So I'll close that out and open up the Arduino IDE, and here's my scrolling sketch. Now, actually, before we get into this, let me just show you something real quick here. We're going to go under File, and we're going to go under the examples, and we're going to go down here. And these are the two libraries right here, the MD Parola and the MD Max 72XX. Actually, the guy's video I was just talking about a few minutes ago, he calls it the Mad Max library. I thought that was pretty funny. It kind of makes sense, but if you look right here, there are tons of examples in here of different stuff to do. I'm showing you in this video here, we're going to look at the scrolling, but there's other things you can do where you can just do text, and there's all kinds of stuff. And then you go under the Parola too, and there's even more. There's all kinds of stuff in here. You go through and you can have lots of fun with it. So make sure you check those out. All right, now back to the Arduino IDE. Here is what I minimized. This was, I'm serious, like, I guess 10 pages was kind of overstated, and it was probably like 4 pages worth of stuff, maybe 5. And this is the entire sketch right here. I minimized it down, got rid of everything, because the way it was set up in the examples was you used the serial monitor, and you had to have it connected to your Arduino, and then whatever you typed into the serial monitor and sent it to it, it would display. But if it loses power, it's going to lose the message. And if you're going to be setting this up, you probably want to set this up where, where you're going to have it scrolling, saying something, and not want it to be connected to the computer. And every time you power it back up, you don't want to have to put the message in again. So this is what I've come up with. And right here, this top one, this integer right here, it says text speed. That is how you set the speed of the text. When you seen it earlier, the welcome to the Z-Hut being displayed, I was running at 50. The smaller the number, the faster the text will scroll. The larger the number, the slower. Because pretty much what we're doing is we're using this as a delay. And then right here, the next, I am using an integer. I'm probably going to get some comments about that, using character, string, whatever. I was just in a hurry, and it does work for this because it's very simple sketch. And I just used the and we're putting text in right here. That's where you put your text in for what you want the LED to scroll. That's it. Then here's our libraries. Oh, we're also using the SPI library, but that's already built in your Arduino IDE, so you don't have to worry about downloading that. The only other thing right here, the max devices. Now, I was using, I had 4 chained together. If you were using just 1 instead of the 4, it changed this to 1. If you're using 8, if you got 2 of those 4-segment LED displays, change that number to 8. You wouldn't change it to 2 because there's 4 on each one, so you'd want an 8. You can run 16. I'm not sure what the cap is on how many of these you can run. I guess I didn't really look into it. I know you can at least use 16 of them. I have actually seen a video when I was looking around on YouTube, and there was a person that had 16 of them chained together, and it worked fine. And then right here, if you're using different pins, like I said, we're using the clock pin 13, data pin 11, and CS pin 10. If you want to use different pins, you can change this. It shouldn't really matter what digital pin you use. I don't think it's going to matter. If you're having problems, just go to the default, because as you've seen, it's working fine on my Uno, and I've also used this on a Nano. And these pin configuration, it works fine. Otherwise, the rest of this, there's no real use going through it. There's nothing, you don't want to change anything in here, or it's not going to work. If you like playing around with sketches and modifying, go ahead, have fun. I have no problem with that. Oh, also right here, I told you earlier, I changed the buffer size. Right here was the buffer. It doesn't really save any space on the board. And we're using right here 58% right now. 300, it works fine. I did try a 500 and I was getting glitches and it didn't want to work. The default, if I remember, I'm trying to think. I can't remember if it was 50 or it was 75. I'm thinking it was 75. But I changed that, and that allows us to put a lot more characters in. Lots more. Otherwise, well, the serial.begin here, you don't really need that either. I just left it in for testing purposes. So if you are using it, just make sure, have this to correspond with your serial monitor, what baud rate that's running. All right, well, that's all there really is to it. Can't really think of anything else to go over, so I'll just quick reminder, look in the description below. You'll find a link to the project webpage. You can get the links for the libraries off there. You're definitely going to want to get this the max.h file, unless you want to change it yourself. And you'll find also on the webpage a link to that gentleman's video. And he did a really good job, and he also goes through and shows some of the other sketches on here, so you might want to check that video out anyway. And I'll also have on there, I'll have a wiring diagram. I'll knock one up quick. I don't really think I need to. I mean, just pin 13, 11, 10, but I'll knock one up anyway just in case you want to look at it. So, all right, with that, I think we'll wrap this video up. So if you found this information useful, please give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it big time. You have any comments or anything, go ahead and leave them. I read them. You got any questions, leave a comment. I might not get back to you for a day or two. I have a lot of videos and I get a lot of comments, so sometimes I don't get to them right away, but you can leave one. You can check us out on Facebook too. You can ask a question on there as well. So, all right, well, thanks for joining us here today. I hope you have a great day, and remember, have fun building.